Hi guys, I'm Joy. Welcome to my channel. This is Joy's Beauty Jones. And this is a very special episode of Shop My Stash in that it was a nightmare from Hades. OMG. Let's get started. Okay, so for this week, I decided I was going to switch things up a little bit. I was going through my stash and I wasn't super inspired. I didn't really know which direction I wanted to go in. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do like a Too Faced inspired Shop My Stash this week. And like I have this new Born This Way foundation that I just talked about yesterday in the All About Foundation video. So I was like, let me try that. I have the Hangover Primer. I have, the Born This Way foundation, concealer, setting powder. I have a blush by them. I have eyeshadow palettes, lipsticks, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm just going to do a Too Faced type thing. So, started my normal routine because I always on Sundays, I pick my stuff out and I'll go ahead and put it all on because I want to test it and figure out if I have to make any edits for the week. I don't want to be getting ready for work and have a surprise. So I try to, when I'm doing my makeup on Sundays, I try to go ahead and go through my stash that I've chosen for that week and go ahead and run the trial run. And thank goodness I did because we had some adventures today. Lots of adventures. So, I went ahead and moisturized my face, serums, under eye moisturizer, started with the primer, the Too Faced primer, which should work with their products, you would assume. And I've used it before and I've really liked it. And I tried the Born This Way foundation for the first time today, as well as the concealer. And if you have dry skin, girl, I would not. I had to go through 3 separate applications of this foundation before I could get it to kind of work. When I first put it on, it was incredibly like chalky and dry on my skin. It's not supposed to have a luminous finish, but it is supposed to blend well and it is supposed to look like a second skin and it is supposed to be like fantastic. It was impossible to work with. I had to take it all back off. I went in the second time with a beauty oil, which I have pulled for this week. And that is the baking oil by Makeup Revolution. We will get this in focus. There we go. So after I went in with the baking oil, I tried it again. And again, it barely blended. It was a really weird color. I believe maybe it does oxidize or something like that because it did end up kind of looking normal on my skin after a while, which is maybe why it looks so incredibly like light in the bottle and light when you put it on. But it just did not blend. It was patchy AF, like unbelievable. I didn't even know foundation could look so patchy. Excuse me. So, yeah, tried the concealer, tried the setting powder, took it all back off again. It was a disaster. So then I went in, removed my makeup, re-washed my face, and went in this time with an oil moisturizer, like a night cream argan oil moisturizer. I usually use an Ole Henriksen moisturizer daily. That's a little lighter and it goes on great under my foundation and my makeup and everything. But I was like, let me just throw a ton of oil on my face and see if that is somehow oily enough for this product to actually like work. So put that on. I put the under eye cream back on. I put my serums on. I put my serum on first and stuff, and then the moisturizer. Then I used a different primer. I used the primer from last week, the L'Oreal Infallible Glow Lock Primer. So I used that primer and then I went in with the foundation, and it kind of moved around finally and kind of blended finally. And the concealer went on nicely after that. And I mean, I had to mess with it so much. I had to like keep, you know, stippling and blotting and patting and everything. And I mean, it did eventually finally blend. And I do like the finish of it. I do think it has a very nice finish. But I was just so shocked at how hard it is to work with. It's supposed to be for all skin types. Like, it's just, I was very surprised by the difficulty in this. I'm potentially going to take it back just because I can't even imagine going through what I went through this morning before work. But I'm going to try it one more time using the method I first used with a heavier moisturizer, you know, just making sure I'm very, very hydrated and oily, and then try it and see if it can work well. But I was honestly surprised at how difficult it was. So anyway, moving right along. I was able to also try this Cocoa Contour Powder for the first time tonight. And this I really did like. Let's see what it looks like here. So I was able to use this color here as my contour shade. And then I used this as a bronzer. And, you know, I like the way this worked. It performed well, I thought. And I also used for the first time another Too Faced bronzer. And this one is the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer. This is just a little deluxe size. And it looks like this. Ooh, Butterfingers. It looks like that. And this is great, but be really careful in terms of how much you actually like swirl your brush and what you put on your face, because this came on like, whew, came on like a freight train. I was like, oh my gosh, like blotting and blending, just more disasters for today. More disasters, everybody. So this was, it's great. Just go in with a light hand if you ever use this Sun Bunny bronzer. So after that, I have this cute little Love Flush blush by Too Faced. And this is the How Deep Is Your Love color. And it is that shade there. And this one on next. And of course, you know, I had my KKW Beauty Brightening Powder in shade 2 from last week. I put this on under my eyes. And it looks like this. And this product is, like I said, this is one of my favorite things I've ever found. I highly recommend this. KKW Beauty shade 2 Brighten. Fantastic. Whoa. And I also was able to try a new palette today, the Just Peachy palette. So this is on my eyes today. And I went in and used this color here, which is called Peach Butter, all over my base. Then I went in with this color here. So there we go. It's like a pretty pink color, and it's called Just Peachy. And I did that all over my crease, kind of blew out the crease. Then I came in with Peach Punch and deepened in the crease a little bit, you know, closer to the lid, not as far up. And then I went on the outer corners to kind of define the eye with this Peach Sangria. And I really like the look I came up with. It's a little colorful. It's like something I wouldn't necessarily do for work, but that's why I'm doing it on a Sunday, to have fun and see kind of what this palette is capable of. I really like this palette so far. The Toasted palette I wore last week had a lot of kick up in the pan, which is okay. And there was like a little bit of fallout. I mean, I enjoyed those colors, but this one had like no fallout, like no kick up. It was really pretty good. And I also had pulled another palette I'd never tried. This was my first time trying this one, as well as this one, the Tickled Peach Too Faced palette. And I thought this would be like a good complementary palette to the Just Peachy Mattes palette, in case I wanted any kind of like shimmer shades on the lid. So I did try this purple on the lid. I don't know if you can see, kind of in the center here. This color did have quite a bit of fallout, which was more fun to try to get dark purple out from under my eye, which, you know, I was able to do kind of eventually, but it was just more disasters from the night. But yeah, so I like this palette so far in terms of like the colors, but I've only used this color, and while I like the color, it does have some fallout, so you just have to be careful. But you know, so that was the next little guy I tried. And then I have the Kat Von D again for this week in Thunderstruck. Takeaway from last week, I think this might be the best inner corner highlighter I've ever come across in my entire life. Like, I love this. And I've still seen this at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, like in pretty good quantities, at least in my area. So if you see this at your TJ Maxx or Marshalls, I would totally recommend it. It really does do a great job in here, you know, as a kind of like a light in the inner corner. I also, for this week, pulled a couple lip colors, because I learned from last week that you know, I kind of wanted to switch it up sometimes. You know, I did film a few videos last week all using the Toasted palette, and I changed my lip color here and there and stuff. So I did pull some extra colors this week. I have the color I'm wearing today, which is Hopeless Romantic. This is their melted latex formula, and that's all my lips today. I had also tried this Stila lipstick in Polaris, but I think this one might be a little bit too nude, or at least with the look I had today. I might try it with another look. And I also pulled this, I think it's Let's Flamingo, also by Too Faced. I thought this might be like a fun color for today, but after I did the eyes a little bit more dramatic, I was like, let's like tone it down on the lips. And then just in case I was inspired, I also pulled this Melted Chocolates Too Faced. This is a liquid or liquefied longwear lipstick, and it's got a little sponge applicator. So I figured I would give that a whirl, but not today, maybe this week. So some favorites from last week that made a reappearance this week would be, let's see. Yes, okay. So we have, again, the CoverGirl brow pencil in Rich Brown, and we have the Cella Tantalizing Taupe eyebrow cream. So again, I'm trying to work through these products and kind of just keeping them in my bin each week. And again, the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir mascara is going to be used again for this week. Just want to kind of get through it so I can try some other ones. So yeah, oh, and for my highlighter, I used Model's Own Sculpt and Glow highlight powder in Golden Sand. And while this is called Golden Sand, it's actually got kind of like a rose gold hue to it. Let's see if you can kind of see back here. It's blinding. It's just picking up all the lights. But I have that on my cheeks today, and it is pretty blinding. Oh, and you know, my nose and all the good little highlight spots. But yeah, so that's what I have chosen for this week. I'm a little off my game tonight, to be honest with you. It's just, I was so shook by how crazy that experience was with the Born This Way. I'm like, isn't this supposed to be like my skin, like, but better? Like, I wouldn't fight with like my natural skin this much, like, or any foundation ever in my life if I fought with that much. So yeah, I'll have to keep you guys posted in next week when I do shut my stash and I pick out new makeup for the following week. I'll kind of let you know how I made out with the Born This Way this week. If I found like a better method, or if I was just having a bad day and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, you know, once I got, you know, found this other technique or used something else, and maybe I apply it with my fingers, it'll work better. I don't know, but maybe I'll have a report for you with that. And by all means, if you have this foundation and if you have the Born This Way foundation and you have dry skin and you love it, please comment down below and tell me how you get it to work, because I really want it to work for me. I think it's, you know, people have loved it so much. I want to love it too. I really do. Please, if you know how to get it to work, let me know, because I mean, other than putting on like a ton of oil in my face first, I'm having a really hard time with it. So yeah, that's pretty much the wrap for this week for my, you know, pre-selected makeup. and we'll see what kind of adventures unfold with this stuff. I'll keep you guys posted though. Thanks again for stopping by. Sorry this wasn't a happier. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Apologies I couldn't have like rave reviews about everything and be really excited, but I was so frustrated and I don't want someone else to go through that. So that's one I would for sure say test in the store. Don't try that one online if you haven't tried it out like on your skin or felt it or smeared it into your hand or something that'll show you if it's going to be chalky on you too or dry. So anyway, thank you guys and I love you, and I'll talk with you soon. All right.